The existence of serial killers is no longer shocking, but what remains intriguing is how they have persisted throughout history. What is truly surprising, however, are the unexpected victims. People whose lives take a tragic turn in ways no one could have foreseen. In this video, we delve into the story of a man whose successful life was cut short by an unimaginable act of betrayal. The details of this crime are as shocking as they are heartbreaking, exposing the darkest depths of human nature. Babak Khorramdin was born in September 1974 in the Ekbatana district of Tehran, Iran. Little is known about his early life, as most available information, both in English and Persian, focuses on his career. A passionate filmmaker, Babak dedicated his life to cinema, creating films that resonated deeply with audiences and critics alike. His work in the film industry was marked by relentless dedication and a strong artistic vision, earning him well-deserved recognition. In 2009, he graduated from the Faculty of Fine Arts at the University of Tehran with a degree in cinema. The following year, he moved to London to further his studies in filmmaking before eventually returning to Iran. Throughout his career, Babak directed a total of 8 films in both Iran and the United Kingdom. His debut project, Cut, a series of 3 short films, was released in 2004 while he was still a student, showcasing his early talent. His other works included Bui Bit Rang, 2007, Tuesday Mom, 2009, The Sun, 2010, and his feature film debut, An Elegy for Yashar, 2013. His final release came in 2017. Though Babak's films were not widely known in the West, they earned significant praise. In 2009, Bui Bit Rang won the award for Best Foreign Short Film at the International Humanitarian Film Festival, further cementing his reputation as a gifted filmmaker. At the Parvin-e-Tasami International Festival in 2009, Babak Khorramdin's works received multiple nominations, including Best Screenplay, Cinematography, Editing, and Sound. That year, he was awarded an honorary diploma for Best Editing for Bui Bit Rang, which became his most critically acclaimed film. His success continued at the 6th Nahal Student Film Festival, where he won awards for Best Directing, Best Screenplay, and Best Sound and Audio. Later in his career, Babak taught filmmaking at Kag University before transitioning to online lessons after the COVID-19 pandemic. He was known for bringing his parents to award shows and even dedicated one of his films, where he played a role, to his mother. These details make the circumstances of his tragic death all the more shocking. On May 16, 2021, a sanitation worker in Tehran's Aytan district was emptying a garbage bin on Nafisi Street when he noticed a heavy, blood-stained bag inside. Alarmed, he opened the bag and found a suitcase wrapped inside it. Upon unzipping the suitcase, he made a horrifying discovery: human body parts, including shoulders, palms, arms, and ankles. The worker immediately alerted the police, who arrived swiftly. The remains were sent for forensic analysis, which revealed that the victim was a man aged between 40 and 50 years old. The forensic team also determined that the man had been dead for only a few hours, adding urgency and a disturbing dimension to the investigation. The police quickly began their probe by interviewing security guards in the area. Since each apartment building had a garbage chute, guards routinely monitored the trash to prevent illegal disposals. The guards noted that the killer likely didn't live in the area or had manually carried the suitcase to the bin, as no suitcases had been seen discarded through the chutes. Next, investigators reviewed CCTV footage from a nearby apartment building. The footage revealed an elderly man dragging a suitcase identical to the one found in the trash. Fortunately, the victim's hands and fingers were intact, allowing investigators to lift fingerprints. Within 6 hours, authorities identified the dismembered remains as those of Babak Khorramdin. Upon learning Babak's identity, the police visited his parents' apartment to deliver the devastating news. However, they were stunned to notice that Babak's father, 80-year-old Ali Akbar Hamdin, bore a striking resemblance to the man in the CCTV footage. When questioned, Ali Akbar and his wife, 74-year-old Iran Musavi Sani, claimed they had no idea what had happened to their son. They stated that Babak no longer lived with them and displayed neither shock nor sorrow upon hearing of his death. an unusual reaction that further raised suspicion. Investigators obtained additional CCTV footage from different parts of the building and questioned neighbors, who reported hearing frequent arguments coming from the Khorramdin apartment. A search of the parents' home led to a crucial breakthrough. Traces of blood were found in the bathroom. Further CCTV analysis revealed that Babak had entered his parents' apartment on May 15th, but was never seen leaving. However, later footage showed Ali Akbar and Musavi Sani disposing of multiple bags and suitcases. One chilling clip captured Musavi Sani struggling to keep the elevator doors open as she attempted to move the bags. The police uncovered a suitcase containing Babak's remains, a chilling discovery that unraveled the horrifying truth. Confronted with the evidence, the couple quickly confessed to their roles in the crime. They claimed they had intended to turn themselves in, but hadn't expected the investigation to progress so swiftly. However, their initial act of feigned ignorance regarding their son's death cast doubt on the sincerity of their statement. As authorities dug deeper, more human remains were found in garbage bins at Arar and Satat Square. Though incomplete, they were confirmed to belong to Babak. The parents provided further chilling details. On the day of the murder, Mavani had drugged Babak's food with sleeping pills. Once he lost consciousness, they bound him to a bed using laces and belts, then tightened a plastic strap around his neck. He was stabbed multiple times before being moved to the bathroom, where his body was dismembered after his death. News of the brutal crime spread rapidly, sending shockwaves across Iran. It quickly became one of the country's most high-profile murder cases, but public outrage intensified when the motive was revealed. It was a so-called honor killing. Babak's parents claimed that his unmarried status had brought shame upon their family. They accused him of being abusive, threatening their lives, and refusing to leave them alone. Akbar Khorramdin even recalled offering to sell his car and give Babak his full inheritance if he left, only for Babak to mockingly reply, "The only way I'll leave is as a corpse." The father further alleged that Babak had inappropriate relationships with unmarried women, invited female students to his home under the pretense of private lessons during the pandemic, and had started drinking and using drugs. These accusations, in his mind, justified the murder. Yet, despite the sheer brutality of the act, Akbar Khorramdin expressed no remorse. He stood by his belief that his son's actions had warranted such a gruesome end. The public's response was one of shock, anger, and disbelief. The idea that a life could be taken in the name of family honor struck a deep chord across the nation. The case ignited discussions about domestic violence and the dangerous extremes of so-called honor culture. It quickly became one of the most talked-about crimes in Iran's recent history. Then came a twist that few saw coming. Babak's parents were no strangers to murder. In fact, they had been linked to not just one, but two previous suspicious deaths, raising the question, were these also honor killings? As investigators delved into their past, a disturbing pattern of violence emerged. Ali Akbar Khorramdin and Iran Musavi Sani, far from being upstanding citizens, had been implicated in two prior murder cases. This revelation suggested that Babak's killing was not an isolated incident, but part of a broader history of brutality within the family. One of the earlier victims was their son-in-law, Farah Mars. Their daughter, Arzu, had met Farah Mars under unexpected circumstances. Fresh out of a 5-year marriage, she was battling depression when she met him. Their relationship was tumultuous, marked by heated arguments, multiple breakups, and a canceled engagement before they eventually married. The chaos only escalated, pushing Arzu to a breaking point. One night, she returned home wielding a knife, threatening to end the marriage permanently. In a twisted attempt to prevent his daughter from committing murder, Ali Akbar Khorramdin decided to become a murderer himself. He drugged and stabbed Farah Mars. Just as he later did to Bak, he dismembered Farah. Reports declared Farah missing, and in an attempt to cover his tracks, he went to Farah Mars' family, claiming that their son had divorced Arzu and had traveled to Asavi to be smuggled out of the country. This led to speculation that Farah might have been murdered by smugglers, further complicating the investigation. Arzu clearly wasn't serious about ending her marriage. She was utterly devastated by the news of her missing husband. On top of her growing depression, she struggled to control her smoking, which soon escalated into drug abuse. Not long after, Arzu herself went missing. When questioned, both Akbar Hamdin and Musavi Sani insisted that she had fled to Istanbul, Turkey, and from there immigrated to Canada to apply for refugee status. They further claimed that while in Canada, she suffered a breakdown and was involuntarily committed to a mental hospital. Because she had multiple sclerosis, they argued she was likely to pass away in Canada soon. Nobody believed them, least of all Arzu's friends. She was in no condition to just disappear, but without enough evidence, the case was dismissed. Your guess is as good as mine. Arzu likely met the same deadly fate at the hands of her parents as her husband, and later her brother. According to their defense, her substance abuse, drinking, and socializing with strangers had brought shame and dishonor to the family, justifying her murder in their eyes. However, many suspect the real motive was to keep Arzu from uncovering the truth about Farar. The same justification was given for Farar's murder. In Akbar Kin's own words, it was Faram Mar's own fault for his immoral behavior. The Iranian film community and Babak Kin's students were deeply shaken by his tragic death. On May 26th, he was laid to rest in a cemetery reserved for artists, a testament to his impact on the industry. His funeral was attended by many who admired his work, with heartfelt tributes pouring in from fellow filmmakers and students. Outside his parents' home where he once lived, mourners gathered to honor his memory. They paid their respects, sang songs of mourning, and shared stories of his dedication to the creative industry. In a touching gesture, they removed the garbage bins where his remains were found and planted a tree in their place, symbolizing life and remembrance. Despite the tragedy, Ali Akbar Khorramdin showed no remorse during his trial. However, before he could be sentenced, he died of a heart attack in prison in November 2021. Musavi Sani initially expressed regret, but after her husband's death, she claimed she had no involvement, insisting it was all his idea. She was found guilty, but received a reduced sentence of just 45 months. Eventually, she was released on amnesty after serving only 2 months. She spent the rest of her days in a nursing home, disowned by her family, and suffering from severe health issues. Babak Khorramdin was known to be kind-hearted, creative, and despite his father's claims, moral. Many believe that Ali Akbar Hamdin fabricated stories about Babak's alleged misdeeds to manipulate public opinion. Unfortunately, history will forever record the tragic tale of a man murdered by his own parents in the name of so-called honor. What's even more heartbreaking is that we'll never hear Babak's side of the story. We'll never know the full truth. To those who loved Babak Khorramdin, and to those he loved, I wish peace. May the truth come out one day. Now, if you want to hear about a Japanese murder case that's just as disturbing and even more mysterious, check out my video on the Blue Blanket Butcher of Fukui Prefecture. Thank you for watching.